Hello everybody, Panzer King here. Welcome to my war room in the Lion's Den in Prince George, British Columbia. I'm going to do a very special unboxing for you today. My war room is being currently used for some other purposes right now and will be, and there's some top secret projects I have going on in there, so I'm actually going to be filming this unboxing down here in the Lion's Lair. But I've just put some background up here. On the left is Andrew Rowland. He definitely wants you to check him out. He is the creator of the Napoleon Imperium game, and I've really fallen in love with his war table. It makes my war table, you know, look like a shambles. It's just so beautiful and eloquent. I'd call him the godfather of war tables, and yeah, I can actually see that in one of the images right now on the left of the screen there. Definitely check him out. The front is my good friend Hilltop. With his recent video, and on to the right is Panzer J Patton. Panzer J, I apologize. He has been gearing up for a Global War 36 game. He really has put a lot of investment in there, so go check out his channel too. Just simple things that I've been into and focusing on right now. And also just a quick pan here. You might see there's some medals off to the side. Well, that's part of the spring offensive. So that's a little bit of a sneak peek there. But there'll be some videos coming up on that as well. But we're going to go look at what something I've received here, and that's quite a large package, is from Historical Board Gaming. Can't even get it in the shot, and I already have it on wide angle. So bear with me here. What we're going to have to do is cut this sucker open. And, yeah. See what we got. I was really surprised on how quick the shipping got here, but then again, you know, I'm sure Canadian Custom knows me very well now, which is a sad truth, but fundamental. So we have a map, we have some fun other little stuff, some other instructions, player aids, and some of you might already be guessing what's in here. God knows there's a whole bunch of stuff in here, and I am super excited to see it. Let's just see what else we got. Oh, look at that. Whole bunch of bags. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pause this briefly and organize it a bit, and I'm going to come back. So just hold on 1 second. All right, and we're back, guys. So there's going to be two parts to this video. So it's going to be a fairly long video, and I'm probably going to break it up. But like I say, there's going to be two specific orders in here. There's going to be a major one, which is what you see before you, and a little bonus one, which some of you probably have been eagerly exciting and waiting to see for quite a while. So let's just start with this. I ordered some more pink dye, and I can't remember if this is the dark green or gray dye with the gold numbers. I just want to have more selection for my dice for my war table. The one I want to get is still burgundy with the gold numbers, but of course they're out of stock right now. But I really like these because these are opposite to the dice I have, so it just gives us more selection. So I was hoping to always go with white numbers, but you know what? Gold in this is just fine by me. So we got that. That's probably the least exciting of the bunch here. Let's go to the next least exciting without breaking anything, hopefully. So this was a very large order with Historical Board Gaming, but nonetheless an important order that I had to put through. Just because of what's coming up here, I wanted to get ahead of the game, or at least try to get ahead of the game, and of course, consequently, that's what it is. So I'm not going to open up the rest of them because they're big, but I just ordered some of these deluxe upgrade packs, $25 tokens, plus the technology token chips. Now, I wanted these technology token chips for the Spring Offensive, just because, you know, you can have these chips as your technology counters how many dice you can roll, just as another aid for our players when that does happen. Hopefully, knock on wood, it does. And what do we got here? So I ordered several of those chips. Just we'll put them off to the side there. Now this is a little Spring Offensive Ad 2 as well. Now, this right here, we got some American decals that were sent. That's nice. World War I decals. So right now here we have, and this is, forgive the name, Irish Commander or somebody. I can't remember, and I do apologize, but you did mention about the decals. So this is the British Naval Ensign, and that is, I think, the Australian flag decal. I'm going to actually use these now as my new Australian flags. I didn't even know that they had them. So these probably are going to be my new Anzac flags. Within reason, because I ordered a few of those. I ordered 20 of those just in case, plus the naval ensigns, which I got 20 of those. And what do we got here? Looks like these are Australian ones again, so I think I must have ordered 30. These are the New Zealand ones, which I think I just ordered one pack because obviously New Zealand and other territories, but just to give that historical accuracy. So that's kind of nice and cool. And this, I believe, is the Indian flag. So I might, and I stress might, use these for my Indian territories for the Far East Command. I don't know yet. I wanted to purchase them and test them out. And whether I like them or not, we'll have to see and play it by ear. Here are the Canadian roundels for the British Empire. So I ordered these ones too, because these are very similar to the Canadian flag, because they did have the British, or the Canadian Union Jack prior to, oh God, fellow Canadians are going to kill me. I thought it was 1967, but I could be wrong, where the British Union Jack was on the left-hand side, and then we had this crest here with a red background for the rest of the flag. So I ordered a few more of those for my fellow Canadians, which I think will add a little bit of flavor. This is to add to my World War I set. Torpedo boat destroyers and coastal submarines. And I needed to grab a few more of those for obvious reasons, because World War I, it needs a lot of ships too. I mean, not a lot, but I want to have enough for the navies, especially if there's going to be a naval race going on in the new Global 14 game. So that'll be one thing. And then, of course, over here, oh, lovely. Here we go. So I'll show you this here. I ended up getting the wrong Air Force markers. I don't want Air Force markers, but kamikaze markers last order. So Doug was kindly enough to just send me out the right ones. And that's all you have to do, guys, is just, like if something gets wrong shipped, he'll gladly send it out to you. No problems. Because sometimes mistakes are happen. But these are going to be for my kamikazes. I'm actually going to drill these holes out bigger and put them on my war-torn flight stands as my kamikaze markers. So that way I can just put down any painted sculpt I have of a zero and make that my kamikaze. So I think I really was eager to do that. And then I ordered several of these here too. These are the rail and damage rail markers, because I realized with our last game, Operation Winter Solace, we needed actually a lot of these. And I know, had Russia been attacked earlier and a lot of sabotage happened, the damage rail markers probably would have actually been, been used quite a bit, because you can actually damage the rail so that the Germans don't get to use it. So I ordered several of those just to try them out for hopefully the Spring Offensive or any future other games, like possible YouTube games like Operation Skyhook. So now the last out of this package is this guy right here. And this might be somewhat boring, but it's a little bit exciting because it gives us some decals. And this is a really exciting one, because this is going to be something I'm going to use on some of my World War II Pacific planes, and it's the Air Force Randall with the red dot in the middle. So I'm super excited to get those onto some of my planes. I also ordered some markers. I might step up my game and do some lettering. Some of this stuff might be too big, some of it might be too small, but we'll see. And then, of course, I got some other roundels where I can actually add the red dart mark. A little bit more work, but you know what? Worth it if you're going to spend the time. And I think I found this in the World War I site, or the World War I selection of decals, if you're looking for that. And then, of course, for my German aircraft, I just had to have the German Valkyries. Or I shouldn't say German Valkyries, but the German Iron Cross symbol. So those are going to be fun, painting up my German Red Barons and stuff like that. And then, of course, I ordered these, and these also came from the World War I decal selection on historical board gaming. And this particular set, you have and I could be wrong, but I believe you have the French set, the Russians, the Americans, and, of course, the English. I think that's how they had them in the First World War. So that's kind of exciting. So I got some more of those, too. So fun stuff. fun stuff with the decals. I'm going to be doing this for the rest of my life, just with this one order. I poured myself a lovely drink tonight to share with you guys. And sorry for the squeaking chair. I have been falling behind on my duties. So this is a box within a box. And this is the start of the World War I fever. Now in here, there's probably a very selection of battleships. And there is. So we're going to have to open that up. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to show you these packages, and then I'm going to open them up, pause the video, and just get some of them set up for you. And you can just see briefly what we're looking at. Okay, so let me pause, and I'll be right back. 1 second. Okay, we're back, guys. So, Zeppelins. That is what I ordered. I didn't order them with the flight stands, or the built-in flight stands. I wanted to order it with my own flight stands, and these things are gorgeous. I love them. You know, you can see the engines, the aerial cockpits, if it were, on the bottom there, the fins in the back, and of course, there's different sizes here. I believe, and I could be wrong, I think there's 50 millimeters and 60 millimeter ones. So I ordered bigger and smaller ones just for fun, and I'm going to obviously put some magnets down here, and they're going to look so awesome floating in the sky with the war-torn flight stands I have. So I ordered several of those because I want all countries to have that option. A little bit of World War II stuff over here. You can see this is a C-47, one of my favorite Allied transport planes of the war. I had a lot of C-46s, and now I'm actually going to paint some of these 47s up, especially if you're a big fan of Operation Market Garden, or at least the movie Bridge Too Far. These are gorgeous. I like these way better than the C-47s, and more detailed because they're 3D printed too, right? So definitely very cool. Pick some of these up if you want to get some historical accuracy. I was trying to find a right color to paint these things yellow, even though it's not really a yellow, but if you watch the movie Bridge Too Far, you find a lot of the Allied planes, they have kind of that yellowy orange tinge to it. So if you ever find a good color that matches with that, let me know, because I just love that movie too. Sean Connery, well, oh my God, there's so many actors in there, we won't even get started on that one. And then of course we have the, I ordered more of these, I ordered 2 of these. But yeah, these are the Japanese seaplanes. I painted a few of these up in a prior video that you might have seen. But yeah, no, these are really cool. I'll have to paint some more of these up for the Japanese Empire. But yeah, I used to love the Sutherland as my favorite seaplane, but I think this is my new favorite seaplane of the Japanese. So I forget the name of it too. I apologize. Should probably know, but so much to know in World War II. So in that also package, there was a lot of barrage balloons, as you can see here. A lot of barrage balloons here. You got a little bit of slag here. You just peel this stuff off. It's just from the 3D printing, so it's easy to come off. And then it's just ready to print, or paint, I should say, right? So you can just put your magnets on here and paint them up, decal them up if you really want to go customization on it. And then we got several of these heavy German artillery. I could be wrong. I'll have to check. This could even be Austrian artillery. But I got some of these too as well that I'm going to use. I'm trying to get ahead of the 1914 game. I'm so far behind in the 1936 game with painting and sculpting. I figured, you know, I'm so far behind, I might as well be ahead at something. So that's where I'm kind of redirecting everything. Here are the German armored cruisers. I think these are the Rune class. Yeah, Rune's armored cruiser, yeah. And they're really, really pretty sculpts. Let me just change this here and just see if I can focus. And you can see that. Look at that detail there. I love this. I was never really a huge fan of World War I ships until I started looking into it. And yeah, they didn't have a lot of guns, but they just had a lot of infrastructure, right? So yeah, really cool. If you're into painting, you'll definitely love painting these guys. So, but what about the dreadnoughts and the pre-dreadnoughts? So what do we got here? We got the Kaiser and the Helgoland ships here. And I believe these both were dreadnoughts. Let's just zoom in here just for a little bit of close-up action. And you can see the differences in the gun placements, super far and forward. You can even see the boat placements. Some are a bit more basic than others, but yeah, super, super cool, guys. And I ordered the right amount for the right amount of classes. And I'm not the best with World War I battleships, dreadnoughts, But I went through Wikipedia and found if there was 3 of one class, 4 of the other, and I made sure I ordered them appropriately. So let's just see if we can find a different class here. So here we have the Deutschland class and the Konig class. We'll zoom in here, give you a close zoom up. These are a little bit, in some ways, a little bit more traditional to a modern battleship. And then, of course, we have the Deutschland class, which I think this was a pre-dreadnought. I could be wrong. It could have been a battleship or dreadnought, I guess you could say, 1916. So very cool. So yeah, like I say, I ordered 4, 6, 8 of them, whatever class. So we have the Kaiser class. I think there might be 1 or 2 more. Let me just take a look here, just in case we're missing them. No, I think that's probably it. And some of this stuff's pretty fragile too. I mean, you're going to lose a few antennas or posts, but like I say, that's the problem with his 3D printed stuff too, right? There's pros and cons. You get very well detailed, but sometimes it can be very fragile too. So let's move right along. And what do we got here? So in this package, we have, once again, World War II, Global 36 stuff, but these are coastal submarines and torpedo boat destroyers, which I'm going to use for our game in Global War 1914. Ordered many of them because, of course, you know, there could be many built in that game. Oh, this is going to be a fun one here. Actually, you know what? Let me take these all out here and take a look at this. Here's something I've been drooling over for a long time. Ladies and gentlemen, the ME-22, the Gugant heavy transport. Very cool. Love to use this maybe in a future global war game. But yeah, just super, super cool. Can't wait to paint that bad boy up. But yeah, gorgeous planes. I always love them. I didn't even know about them until about a year or 2 ago when I did some more looking on the internet and found out what they did and where they were positioned, how many of them were made. Not many of them were made very much. So now what do we got here? Now these aren't marked, but I have a feeling that these are German or Ottoman fighters. I could be wrong. They could be the Japanese World War I fighters. I'll have to take a look at that. Usually I'll just have to sometimes just take a peek. Actually, there might be different versions of that fighter in there, because I think I ordered a few different sculpts. But that's it's kind of hard to say. But like I say, they're biplanes. A lot of them look alike. That is for sure. Here we go. We have a lot of World War I German infantry class. Doug doesn't have many of there yet, but I'm sure there's going to be more coming eventually. But these are the Germans. Very detailed sculpts, right? So if you guys are into painting detailed, I know a lot of you are. I'm not a detailed painter. I don't have the time for it, but some of you guys will just have so much fun with some of these when you start getting into World War I stuff. And what do we got here? Oh, look at that. Look at these beautiful guns here. That is a siege cannon, like a Paris siege cannon or whatever. That is actually a really cool sculpt. Be cool to have that on the first World War I game map eventually. And then here we ordered some Idaho class battleships. And of course, we just have a bit of, once again, slag on it. Well, I don't want to call it slag, but just remnants of the 3D printing. But like I say, it just comes off. And it's actually good if it does come with it, because it just helps keep the structure until you break it off right later on. So definitely don't be irritated by that. Consider yourself lucky, because the stacks will probably stay in far better condition. And that's the Idahos right here. So yeah, very cool. And of course, some of them are sister ships to the ships that were sunk in Pearl Harbor. And in here, what do we have? We have some French cruisers and battleships, the Corbeils. And you can see here, look at that. Look at the detail. Cannons. Love it. And, oh, the Yavuz class. We ordered a few more of these because these are going to be my Ottoman ships. And we're going to use them as dreadnoughts. I believe dreadnoughts are battleships, one or the other. But the great Ottomans. It's better than using the 1914 Atlas Hill game. Or Avalon Hill, I should say. So that is cool. And I think that's it for this set. Yeah. So, moving on here, what do we got in this package? Oh, that's awesome. I had a few chaffies that came broken, and isn't that awesome? Doug sent a few more. So like I say, if you have anything that's broken, Doug will definitely send it to you. Just let him know. And I had a few Leanders broke as well. And look at that. You know, here they are back alive again. So really appreciate that. And that's why I love Historical Board Gaming. Their customer service is second to none. I know I've been down that business road of owning a business, and customer service is so important. And what do we got here? I don't know. These are obviously some tanks I ordered online. Oh, I think these are the quadrant ones. I think these were used in the D-Day landings and other landings by the Allies in the late war. And Crusader tank, maybe? I'll have to check. That's the problem. There's so many different sculpts out there, and you got to remember the names, and you know, sometimes it just doesn't come to you. But this right here, now this is a fun little thing I want to show you. It's called a Tortuga tank. I think it was made, or Venezuelan tank, or made by Colombia for Venezuela. I ordered this for a reason, not for any game particularly. It's kind of like an armored car, but it looks so futuristic. I ordered this for my War of the Worlds stuff I've been developing, like some of the flying Martian machines that you've seen, because this looks like either a futuristic Allied tank or a futuristic, you know, Earth tank, or even possibly a futuristic Martian tank of some kind, right? So I was just, yeah, it looks very cool, and I think it was developed in the 30s or so. But I just, when I saw that, it was like, kind of like the Martian war machines. I just had to have it just to see how it is and how I can paint them up. So yeah, like I said, we got various tank sculpts here. I just, unfortunately, I can't remember what the name of some of these are, but that is my bad. I think one of these is the Canadian Ram tank. Canada, I think it was in Montreal, they built, I think it was this tank here. It was called the Ram, and it was just, it was used by the Canadians, obviously, too, right? But it was the one time where Canada actually started building some stuff before we started importing everything from everywhere else. And what do we got here? Oh, look at this. The Mackensen. I think this is a battle cruiser. I believe this is a World War I battle cruiser. So yeah, these are really cool sculpts. And the Nassau. Here we go. This could be a pre-dreadnought, or it could be a battleship. I can't remember. So forgive me if I'm wrong on the Deflunga. I think that's a battle cruiser too as well. But yeah, that is super cool. And like I say, as soon as you paint these, it just brings a whole new life to them. And I think that's, oh, this is the, let's see if we can say this, the Ersatz Yark, or whatever. And I think this was also possibly a battle cruiser as well. So one time Germany actually had a decent navy. Of course, this is up against the Nassau class. So yeah, I think that covers a lot of the World War I stuff. Got one more bag here. And what do we got? Oh, we got the Britannia. Now these, I believed, were sunk by the British Navy, or at least one of them, or was heavily damaged, just outside. Oh Christ, I forgot the name of the place. Mers Al Kabirs, I think, when the British were trying to sink the French Navy, so it didn't fall into German hands. But yeah, anyways, these are the World War I sculpts of it, battleships. So that's going to be fun. I like these a lot. Look at the superstructure and the deck structure and the guns and the boats. Very cool. Very cool. And probably one of my favorite Panzer IVs. I think this is the G or the H. It's got the skirting around there. I think it just gave it a little bit more armored protection, but very cool, of the late war period, definitely in 44. So that is neat, definitely to add to your list. And of course, you can even see that they go down further, the skirting and the armament, right? So definitely, I'm gonna have fun painting some of these Panzer IVs up, and I think I ordered about 10 of those, so that is perfect. So let's just give you a wide shot again. Here we go. We gotta pause again because I gotta show you something a little bit more fun. So hold on to your horses. Okay, guys, and we're back. Now I gotta try to get this out of this tube here and show you what may have all been waiting for. The Midway game. And here you go, guys. This is our map. Small little vinyl map. It's nothing too big or too crazy, but it definitely kind of gives you the perception of Midway here. And I know this is not the best place to show it, but of course, like I say, we can go over it later and just go over everything and show you. But that's not the real exciting part about the map, because we have a little bit more to show you. Now, I ordered the Admiral Edition to the Midway. Now, not that I needed the pieces, but because I love the pieces so much. And we got the task force markers here, which have this little inset so you can put your rondel there. And of course, we also have our carrier divisions as well, which is really cool, especially on your map, just to help move stuff around, make it a little bit easier. In this bag, we have a lot of basic things you need to play this game. We have these hidden token markers here. So obviously, if your task force is hidden or whatever, you put this down. Fuel markers for your planes, especially the bombers and whatnot that are heading to target to bomb Midway, or torpedo planes to bomb the carriers or hit the carriers. These fuel markers are very vital to playing the game, because that's a very important thing of war. We have the squall markers, which are going to be used here in the game to represent, well, historically accurate as squalls. Squall was coming in to the northwest of Midway, but of course, you know, this thing is just a weather development, so that's something the Allies as well as the Japanese have to worry about, or I should say the Americans. And what do we got here? We got bombs. So this is our bomb bag, and we got our bomb tokens in here. So that's where we can arm our planes with other bombs. Or torpedoes, which we have right here. So here's our torpedo marker, which you will be doing in your, when there are planes that landed on the carriers, whether you can arm them or not. That is going to be one step. And then we have the recover phase and launch phase, because obviously if your planes are running out of fuel, you need to recover them first before you can launch the other planes, right? So that is an important thing. Damage markers right here as well, especially if your carriers get hit. And we have chips. Now, in this game, chips represent the amount of units. So just keep that in mind. So if you have 3 chips and a sculpt, I believe it's three of that sculpt, not 4, because the sculpt doesn't get added on. It just shows you what's there, and the chips represent that. So, and then of course we have multicolored chips for various reasons. We have carrier divisions in this game. We have each carrier is assigned its own color, right? So the Hornet, the Yorktown, Lexington, Kaga, Akaga, Hirio, Soryo, Zoyo, they all are designated their own color for their own fighter, torpedo plane, bomber squadrons. So yeah, that is super, super cool. Mike Kelly did a good job of designing that game. Well, I shouldn't say it yet. I haven't played it yet, but it looks pretty awesome. It looks really cool. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun to play. And definitely go to Historical Board Gaming and check that out if you haven't already. And these are, once again, fuel markers a little bit closer up. These are the 1-1, so when you're down to this, you're on fumes. You better get back to base, right? So that is cool. What do we got here? And then we got convoy markers, victory markers. So that's for that right there, just to keep track of your stuff. Anti-aircraft guns, seaplane base, airfield. All that stuff is going to be for Midway Island itself, which is a useful stuff. And of course, the dreaded thing, out of fuel. If you're out of fuel, you might have to land pronto. And we have our D12s right here. So these will add nicely to my game because I have these colors. But of course, you know, they'll be used in the Midway game for sure. So let's just take a quick peek at these rondelles, and then we can get to the ships. We have Japanese for your task force markers, American, the squall marker, as well as, I believe this is, oh, I forget, I do apologize. I want to say a victory marking or a veteran marking or something like that. Yeah, I can't remember, so I do apologize. But Mike Kelly did an excellent job of tutorial videos online. Just go check them out. And recon markers, because you're going to be sending out seaplanes in this game, checking out where the enemy lies, especially from either your cruisers or possibly even from the aircraft carriers. So cool. Like I say, a lot to this game, but any game worth playing usually should have a lot. So let's open up now and go into the player aids, if you will. And here they are. So if you watched the tutorial video on historical board gaming, you can definitely check that out. But here we have the USS Enterprise, Hornet, and Yorktown, the three main carriers, and the unsinkable aircraft carrier, the Midway Islands. And over here you have the four major carriers, the Akaga, Kaga, Hiryo, Soryo, and the Zoyo, which was part of, I think, the main body invasion fleet. So it just goes to show you the planes. Here's your status, you know, if you're on the flight deck or if you're down there refueling and so on and so forth. So that's one thing just to keep in mind too. Like I say, it's not just a quick-paced game. You know, you're dealing with every plane. You're literally the captain of each of these carriers, right? You're the Nagumo or the Halsey or the Jack Fletcher of your armadas, making sure that your planes get back. Because without your planes, your carriers are useless. And same here, right? So here we have the rule book, and here we have this. Now this is probably one of my favorite parts of this game. Is this shows you how you attack. And I'm not going to get into great details. Mike does a great job, but like I say, on historical board gaming. But basically, you have your ships here. You have your aircraft carriers and you have your escort vessels in the outer rim. And then, of course, you have your destroyers and combat air and out here as well, just on the outer rims, like you would in a true naval task force protecting the ships. And then, of course, you can put fighter planes out here in combat air patrol. But you can assign them in locations. So if you assign them here and assign them here, then it's all a roll of the dice. And if the Japanese come in and let's say show up here and here, well, then the fighters don't intercept them and they have a chance at attacking the ships. So that is a cool thing. Just gives a bit of randomness there to it, but also you got to see, well, do you think he's going to roll a mid number or a higher number, 6 to 7? And that's where you end up putting them. It's a bit of luck, but you know what? The Battle of Midway was a bit of luck for bad luck and good luck for both sides. And here we have the rule book. We'll just briefly look through this. Very well done. Nicely, beautifully laid out. Just goes through some scenarios. Won't go into great details about this. Shows you the order of play, what every token is, and there you go. It shows you all your units, what you get with it. And I love the accuracy because you got the Tone class cruisers. You got 4 of them, which was correct. The Myoku class cruisers, you know, they got the carriers itself, right? So, and even the Congo class battleships or battle cruisers, rather. And then, of course, you got the patrol craft, the Vals, the Kates, the Zeros. Very detailed game. And, of course, you got the Flying Fortresses, which were on Midway, and the PPYs. Like I say, this is just a very detailed game. So I'm gonna have to do some research here and do some studying already on my busy schedule to how to learn this and hopefully show this game to you guys when I get a chance. American units, US destroyer, Just shows you basically some of the stats on the planes, on the Japanese and the Americans, and same with the carriers, where they start, the setup charts, and where they are on the game. And then, of course, we have Operation MI right here, and what you have in each carrier division, how many destroyers, carriers, so on and so forth, right? So, I love how rich this game is. So much work has been put into this, and I'm very proud of Mike Kelly. Even though I've never met the guy, I think he's done a good job of this, and hopefully when I do my first game of this, I won't make a shambles of it. So, but here we go. So let's look at some of these sculpts up close and personal, shall we? This might be the longest unboxing video I've had in a while, but also this is a very important unboxing as well. So, what do we got here? Now, the green are obviously going to be the American ships, but these are the New Orleans class cruisers. These are, I believe, heavy cruisers. And just from my own history, I'm pretty sure there was like 4 or 5 of them in the Battle of Midway, which, or at least there was, I'm pretty sure, which was really the only heavy protection they had against you know, the Japanese planes, because the battleships were still being rebuilt after Pearl Harbor. And then, of course, we have, ooh, look at these. Sorry, guys, I just ran out of memory there, so I had to do a quick alteration. So, yeah, these are the Dauntless dive bombers here. And what do we got here? I don't know if I showed you these or not, but we'll just zoom in again. The B-17 Flying Fortresses. Like I say, super detailed. That's what the awesome thing is about 3D printing, right? It's just an endless, amazing setup. And here we have our great PPY planes. These come with bases, but you can also order these from Historical Board Game without bases if you want to use flight stands. Or, like I say, you can just chop them off here too. The 3D printed stuff actually comes off pretty easy if you just use the right pliers, or cutters, I should say. And here we have some of the smaller support vessels. And we have the Farragut's class destroyers right there. We're going to zoom in here and give you some close-ups of these lovely sculpts, if we can focus. Maybe not. Maybe not. Okay, here we go. We'll just zoom out. We have, and they're even labeled, no, sorry, they're Yorktown class carriers, but we have 3 of them. Yorktown, Yorktown, Hornet, and Enterprise, I should say. All of the same sculpts. Lexington would have, I'm sure, joined them if she not had been sunk at the Coral Sea. And here we go. Farragut destroyers. So they got destroyers, cruisers. That's pretty much their surface screening force. And what do we have in here? Now we have the Wildcat fighters. I think these are the Devastator torpedo bombers, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. Not the greatest plane in the Second World War, that's for sure. Definitely, I think Midway was the last time they were used, because they were just horrible planes. Just horrible planes, and got shot down out of the sky. So, yeah, I think that's it. I'm missing anything else there? No, looks like it. So, yeah, so that's our American forces, and now let's just take a brief dive into the Japanese. You can see I'll have quite a mess to clean up here, but that's okay. I'll try to make this video as short as possible so you guys can get on with your lives. Now, this is probably one of my favorite things, is looking at some of this stuff, because all the carriers were unique. And this right here is the Akaga, and this is super, super detailed. Let's see if I can just focus in on this right now. Like, look at how it dips down there in the end, and look at that. That is just gorgeous. I ordered the Akaga here in Soyo from Shapeways, but yeah, no, I think these are just even far more detailed too, right? And look at even the portholes, like, oh, these are nice. Nice. And if you guys are really good painters out there, better than me, I'm sure, you guys are gonna have fun. Now this guy has to be the Kaga, just from her sculpt design, yeah. And the Kaga, and I believe it was the Hirio, are the only ones that actually had the the bridge on the other side, which was not the greatest design. But yeah, she was a little bit more of a beefier carrier. And of course, that's our Task Force 1. So we got the Congo class battle cruisers, which you can gladly use for historical board gaming's Global War 36 if you want someday. And the Tone class cruisers. You ever watch Charlton Heston's Midway movie from the 70s? Definitely a great movie. Go check it out. Because I think the Tone had a big issue with one of her catapult planes and couldn't launch on time, and that may have cost them the battle. So yeah, very cool. So yeah, and then what do we got in here? This is probably Carrier Division 2 with the Hiryo and Soryo. Yeah, that's what we got here. And there we go, the beautiful Hiryo and Soryo. Love that, and you can see the bridges on either side, the islands. And more Congos, destroyers of the Ugami class, or the Ugami class right there. Cool. Yeah, I think that's it too. I might be missing a few other items here. Oh yeah, there's another one right here. So what do we got? Oh, there's actually a few more bags. I do apologize. Some more lighter support ships, more destroyers. The Nagiro class light cruisers, which we do see in the historical board gaming Global 36 game. The Miyoko class heavy cruisers. Love the detail, and I'm amazed every single one of these has survived for the most part. I mean, unless there's something that I can't see. But yeah, no, that's cool. Now, like I say, not that it's a bad thing. It's just, you know, things like this in today's age are so fragile. Look at that beautiful Val dive bomber. One of my favorites. Now, I know Doug posted on one of his recent videos about the wheel carriages on these. He wasn't quite happy. Now, I don't know if these are the better ones or not, how some of them could be fragile, but I'm honestly quite fine with these ones. They look quite good. But like I say, the wheels, I mean, you hardly ever see them anyways. But yeah, that is cool. And then what are this? This must be our Zero package. Look, oh, yeah, our seaplanes, our Jakes. I think they're called Jakes. I could be wrong. Which were launched from the cruisers, as well as our Zeros. Look at that beautiful sculpt. And these have to be our Kates. And that is exactly what they are, the Kate torpedo bombers. And sorry if it's a bit out of focus, guys. It's just, sometimes it's hard to focus with everything going on in the background. But yeah, look at that, eh? Look at that. And of course, we just put some planes on here. Like I say, they're not really... Sorry about that, guys. I got a phone call, so no worries. But anyways, that's pretty much it. We are done right now with this whole review. I have a big mess that needs to be cleaned up, and it'll be a fun little few night project to do, I'm sure. Just do it very carefully and organize everything. But yeah, Midway. Definitely, if you're interested in this game, it's not for everybody, just like everything is. But if you're big into World War II and historical accuracy, I think this game definitely will give you a lot of fun. And like I say, it's moving quite fast on a historical board gaming, so definitely go and check it out, and go look at some of the videos and check it out, see if it's something up your alley, because if it is, like I say, it might give you a lot of joy. But anyways, Panzer King here in the Lion's Den, signing out, bringing you another unboxing video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this, and we will see you guys later. Stay classy.